Welcome back to TAE Time Podcast.
We're back.
Hope everything's good with everyone. Hope everyone's good. It's kind of cold now. You know how it is. It'd be like that. How about you? How are your things?
I'm good. It's getting chilly. It's getting stormy. The kind of like fall autumn season of like just dryness is completely gone these days. So be careful driving out there if you are. Stay safe.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. Pretty cold right now. So terrible time. I hate this time of the year. It's just way too cold for me. My body does not like it whatsoever. But forget about that. Let's get into the source of today, the real thing we wanted to talk to. You know, the things you guys saw that you're all interested in. We went on a trip and we went to London again. But it's not about London this time. We went because we went to go see one of my favorite artists in the world. I don't know where he ranks for Nicoletta, but definitely a top one for me is Rema.
Not my favorite artist.
Yeah. As I said, doesn't know where I rank.
Is he your favorite artist, period, in every genre, or?
I don't have favorites, to be honest.
Okay.
But that's why I said he's one of my favorite artists, you know, but absolutely, he's ridiculously good for me. I love his music. I really enjoy it. And
how about in the Afrobeats world? Is
he's
favorite?
definitely up there.
Okay.
So he's
not your favorite still.
I don't have favorites.
Okay.
I don't have a favorite. I have favorites.
Okay.
It switches on from time to time, but Rema is definitely one of the top tier artists for me personally. You know, He's been one of my most listened to. I'm pretty sure when my Spotify Wrapped come in, he'll be in the top 5 without a doubt. We'll see where in the top 5, but he'll be there probably without a doubt. I know either his songs will be in my top 10 one
Calm Down probably.
I actually don't listen to Calm Down, guys. It's okay, but I don't like the song that much. There are better songs on that album than Calm Down for me personally. Oroma Baby is probably one of my Oroma, not Oroma. Is probably is my favorite song on that album probably. So yeah, no, definitely.
So Fruit kind of jumped forward a lot. So I guess we'll just get started with the concert. Obviously, it's probably what the title will have in it anyway. Clickbaity. That's probably why you're here. Low-key. So if you've followed either of our stories, maybe mine, I don't think you put up anything.
No, I didn't put anything up.
Okay. Actually, I did put up something on TAE Time about Rema, and I asked you guys if you wanted to hear us talk about it, and an option was, who is Rema? So if you're here wondering who is Rema?
Rema is a massive Afrobeats artist from Benin City and massive from Nigeria. Big up, he's one of the boys, one of the GOATs. I'm pretty sure most of you probably have heard the song Calm Down, the version with Selena Gomez or the original version, one of the two. Baby Calm Down, that song. So you've probably heard that song. You might not know who he is, but you definitely heard that song. He has ridiculous amount of I think right now he's 30 monthly listeners on Spotify, which is crazy,
Yeah.
Burna Boy and Wizkid and all them don't even have that same numbers for monthly listeners, which is insane. He's I think he is the most streamed Afrobeats artist in the world. I
think he's definitely known for Calm Down, and I know this from just personal survey of people who responded to my story. Only at the very end when Calm Down came on, it's oh my god, you went to Rema concert. I know this song.
I know this one song. Oh my god, baby, calm down.
And then they go back on the previous stories to appreciate the artist.
Yeah, exactly. The artistry, it's only at that point. But yeah, no. So he's a master artist. He's part of the Maven group. So that's where Arstar and the rest of them. So
Casey.
He's not part of Maven.
He's not?
No.
Oh, but my god, I thought he was.
No, he was just a guest.
Oh my god, there was another guy, but I don't remember his name.
Oh, Jay, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's not part of Maven.
No, he was.
No, he's not part of Maven.
I thought he is.
No, he's not. He's the guy who sang You're 22. He's not part of Maven, no.
That's crazy.
He's just a UK guy.
Okay, so anyways, how did you find the Rema concert?
I thought the concert was great, guys, honestly. all you guys chatting there, whatever, we'll probably get to that. But I thought the concert was great.
So like before, obviously we get onto the how the world has viewed it. What did you personally?
Yeah,
think
no, I
about
thought the concert was really good. Like I thought it was like phenomenal from start to finish. Like don't get me wrong, I did not like the length of the breaks that were there. Like some of the breaks were way too long. I did not enjoy that. He started off with D&D, which was a great way to come out. Honestly, I think it was really, really good, really hype. Made it really enjoyable. And then he did a few other like he did Pantera from the Black Panther album, that song, and then he that's the one that people have things about. You'll talk about later, but and then he did a few of his old songs, and I was really like that he played Fame. That was one of the things. Then he was like on this really cool bat, like this moving bat. Like the visuals were sick. Let me know. I personally enjoyed the visuals a lot. I thought it was pretty sick. And then with the house as well from the album cover. And then he did a good few songs that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed pretty much all of it. I was very shocked. Not surprised that a lot of people didn't know the full catalog of the songs, especially like even stuff that was big that just came out, like Troublemaker, like just came out, and that was a big song, and people didn't know the lyrics. So I was like shocked. And then they know near the end of the last like 15 minutes of the show, he did like, the real big hits, like Bounce, all these things, and then everyone was going crazy. That the vibes were immaculate, everything was good, so I thought it was pretty cool having the Maven crew come out singing One Damo. Me and the boys, One Damo, we really enjoyed that one. And then like, our star, she did Rush, that was, I didn't really give a shit about Rush. But then the show did start off well with Casey coming out, so everything was pretty good. Like, so overall, I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed all the songs that were played, and I enjoyed the initial act of Casey, but then it was a little thing, but I didn't. So the way I would say is, as an artist and for someone who likes him, I think it was really good. But as a production as a whole, okay. But that's my personal feelings. How about you?
Do you know what? I thought that like concert was just okay. Like I don't think it met my expectations in terms of like a concert and what I'm there for. Like I'm there to like, listen to the music and stuff, and like the breaks that were happening, the like technical difficulties of the mics, that could just kind of like ruin the flow a little bit for me. Like, the crowd was getting hype up, and then like, Casey came on, and then we were like at peak, and then it just kind of died when Victoni had to like come out, and he sang for what, like 10 seconds?
He didn't even get 10 seconds. They essentially like different sizes started playing, and then he sang like the first like lyric or something, and then his mic got cut off straight away. So which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, like that kind of ruined the flow, the whole Victoni thing. And then like I found it cool, like all the different props that he had, like the horse, and then the bat, but then like the getting set up in between the songs were just really long, and the crowd was just kind of like waiting around. Like there was no music or anything in between. Obviously it was just like waiting for the next big act to start, and I feel like he could have really filled those gaps up with like the artist that maybe like didn't get to play or something. But then it would have been a little bit awkward because we would have seen him do like go on the bat and stuff, so like it would have ruined it. But it was just kind of like long breaks, and I also kind of felt like it was just one of those things that was very grandiose, and which is cool because you don't really see that at concerts. But to me it just felt like kind of like a kid having these big visions, and he was just like bringing it to life or whatever. But in terms of like a concert, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite that I've been at. Like I think Fireboy's concert was a lot better to me. Obviously I need more of his music. I prefer his music, but like artistically and like the flow of it and the music just felt like a lot better. So I was just a little bit disappointed. Also, like I knew I didn't know all of Rema's songs, but I really did expect the people towards the front to know a lot of his music. But it was a little bit like surprising that I didn't really know his like most recent songs.
Yeah, no, like it's always one thing to have like not know the like super old stuff, but like the stuff that literally dropped like a few weeks beforehand, and like it was like that album. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, the EP's so good, the EP's so good." Okay, so why don't you know it?
Yeah.
You know, like why weren't you even vibing with it? Like, all right, don't know the lyrics off by heart. Like, okay, like it's not a fucking like essay, but like, oh my god, at least vibe with it. They're like deers in headlight, you know, just staring.
Yeah. And then like
So,
when a song that comes on that they know, they're like, ah.
yeah,
screaming.
exactly. You know, it was pretty crazy. Let me not lie.
Yeah, I think like the stuff that I posted, like, just kind of highlighted all the highs, not the lows of the concert. So some people were like, oh my god, this is like such a cool concert, like, you know, it looks so fun. And I was like, yeah, the highs were very high, but the lows were quite low.
Yeah, I think, but to be fair, I do think that that's the case of like all concerts. Like, I think it, like when it's a concert for just someone, like unless they're like super massive, like I find that most people actually don't know the lyrics for things. Like even at Fireboy, like there are bare people quiet for most of it as well, and like other like artists.
But I don't think it was the crowd that made it low. I think for me, what made it low was the pauses, the like.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like I'm talking about like as
difficulties
like
and stuff
when
like
it comes
that.
to knowing the music, I like the crowd just being like quiet is always just like for me anyway. Is always like a low point. It's like, oh my god, why people don't know this? But then like I understand that because like I guess like you don't have to live like by the artist, but like oh my god, if you're going to go see someone and you're going to go that close to the front, like you might as well, like you'd want to know your shit. Like me personally, anyway, that's why I think, you know, like at least have an idea or at least vibe with it, you know, not just stand there like a freaking deer in headlights just staring, be like, oh yeah, you know, at least vibe with it. But you know, like so it's kind of weird. Like you pay all that money, do all that effort, and then it's like it looks like you're just doing it more just to record it and have it like and post it on like some TikTok than it is like you're just there to enjoy it.
No,
you know,
exactly.
like the
But
show.
do you think any of the girlies were like hoping to get pulled up on stage?
Oh, absolutely. I think
previous
people.
experiences?
I think people were, but I think people completely forgot that he's just stopped doing that, like completely.
But when
like,
did he stop? Because I didn't know there was a stop.
Oh yeah, no, he stopped doing that after like one of his American shows. Like he just stopped doing it, like whatever. Like he's not pulled anyone on stage anymore. Like he's completely done, stopped doing it. So like you know that's one of those things. So like obviously some people might have thought that was their like 10 seconds of fame or whatever be on like a Rema stage, but like no, he stopped doing it. If you followed it, you would have seen. Yeah, I think he even said something that he wasn't going to do it anymore or whatever. Like, but yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a wrap.
like fair enough. But like I didn't know, so I know there probably would have been people who also didn't know, or maybe they were like, oh, but because this is London, like he'll do it again because it's like really big or whatever.
Yeah, but like I think because it's like even if he hadn't stopped doing it, I think he wouldn't have done it because it's like it is too big. Like the arena, the O2 Arena is such a big stage, massive stage. Like look at all the stuff they had set up. Like you know, there was a certain like they had to make sure everything was working well. So like I don't think they would have taken any chances of bringing people up for that. Like even when they were doing that, they're like running around his horse. One of the guys accidentally dropped his mic stand. And then even him when he was going around, then he accidentally dropped the mic stand again. Like stuff like that, you know. You just like it's such a big thing. Like you just can't afford to have so much shit going wrong.
Yeah, no, especially because it was running a little bit late, even though he put out a post that said to be on time.
Yeah, I'd like to know what ran it late, like what issues, like the mic did have issues at the very start, so maybe stuff like that. But
it also could be the crowd not being there.
Yeah, it could also be delayed, like because it did take a good while for the crowd to show up, and obviously like they're not gonna want to start if like the room isn't full. Like it, you know, it's weird, it looks bad. Even if it's like you're like, all right, screw the people who are late, it just looks so bad when you're recording because they were live streaming the concert as well, like you know. So like obviously like you want to wait until the most amount of people are there, like you know. So yeah, no, but that's just simply the O2. Like people show up late, and also at the same time, once you show up late, everyone has to wait in line super long, you know, to get in. So it delays it all way more.
Yeah, no, that's pretty annoying. But on to, I guess, everything that happened after the concert, which was a lot of controversy about it being like a ritual, like demonic, that kind of stuff. What's your take on that? Why do you think people thought that?
Like, people just automatically think, oh, because of the red, because of this, because of that, whatever. Like, I think, like, guys, it's not that deep. Like, I even seen bare TikToks of people saying this among bare people of being like debunking it. Like once again, like let's start with the bat. Like the bat is literally what he said is like his symbol for Benin City, because every time he looks up at night he sees bats flying around in Benin. Like it's so common to anyone who grew up in Benin City that you just see bats flying across, the sky, and that's like the symbol, the emoji he uses, and then the mask as well that people are going. That's literally like a replica of a Benin bronze, mask, so like, the Benin statue bronzes, those statues, like literally the mask, and then obviously the horse as well with him is literally a Benin bronze again, like replica kind of thing. Like he was imitating that, like he was really giving homage to where he's from, like, because like deep he's on the biggest stage one of the biggest stages in the world, well, in Europe anyway, right? And he's doing this like as a fifth Nigerian to ever do it, like, and the youngest one as well to do it. And like for him, that's obviously a level of pride, not only for himself but where he comes from. So like for him to be able to represent where he comes from on the stage like that, that's insane. Like even like I made a joke like last night, literally, I mean the last day that during the thing they did the whole like, oh, where's everybody from, who's from here, and then they said, and they did it like 3-4 times or whatever. But every time, they say Nigeria, because like obviously it's like a big thing for us that like not only is Afrobeat like, as people love it, really like comes from Nigeria, and the home of it is Nigeria. Like we have these massive Nigerian artists being on the world stage doing crazy things that people would have never thought we would be able to do, and be able to give homage to back home, to where from all the different parts of Nigeria where people are from, and being able to put your your city, your place on the map. That's crazy, like, and obviously everyone wants to be proud of that and be proud of where they're from, and being able to like to show like imagery of that, like, and be like that, and calling demonic is kind of, it's pretty sad, honestly, from my perspective. Like it just kind of like negates all the effort and hard work behind it, and we were like, oh, doing this, doing that, like, oh my god, you didn't know the song he was singing was Pantera, so you thought he was doing like demonic ritual incantation, or you didn't know this, like, or you're like, oh, this, and either they're like, oh, people are like, oh, how are you surprised you've been doing like this, like they're like, oh, the upside down cross, the whole house is upside down. The whole house is upside down in the photo. The skeleton that was on fire as one of the images, there's literally a fire skeleton on the album cover.
But like, it's like also like, why are they on the cover?
But like it's just like imagery, like just for fun. Like it's not deep.
Do you think that's fun?
Like it's not deep. Like it's just like, oh, out here literally, like doing whatever, and people deeping it. It's just so, it's like nonsensical.
Do you think like when, like people like, was it Lil Nas X or whatever, was like dancing around with horns and stuff like that? Do you think that's deep, or that's just fun as well?
I think it's just doing it just for it's reactionary. Okay. Like they're like that, especially with the horns and the whole devil stuff or whatever. That's just reactionary. Like this one is different because like it's literally like meant to be imagery based off whatever like we can see. But the whole demon horns and stuff, even at that, it's not deep. It's literally just reactionary. Like because they know you're going to talk about it. They know people are going to talk about it and be like, oh, bloody, bloody, blah, and stuff like that. And I think that makes a massive difference, obviously. As in like for people, and they're like, oh, this, that. It's like, yo, it's not like that. Like we're long past the days of where we're like, oh my god, rap, they have to sell their soul, Illuminati bullshit to be like this. Like come on, grow up. Like it's really past that. And like especially like I think the real shame for me personally is us Africans who are then claiming it's demonic, knowing like, okay, you might not know, but once you see someone tells you about the symbolism and stuff like that, and you still claim it's demonic, then you are just like destroying the credibility we have. Like, oh my god, like the bat, the Benin bronze mask, all that stuff. Like, what, like you're saying like our stuff, like our own traditional stuff is archaic and demonic? Like, no, that's stupid. Like, like I don't care where you're from. Like it's one of those things that you really should really see the bigger picture and be like, yo, that's pretty cool that he's doing that, because like he could have been doing whatever else and like not even represented, but like he decided to do it in his own artistic way, because it's like one thing to like just do it like for like, but take for example, like we were like, oh, masquerade on the stage, like KC, he brought out the masquerades and like, oh my god, masquerade on the stage. Yes, like masquerade is like something like in our culture that it's like, oh, scary, whatever, like you run from, but it's still something from our culture. It's literally from our culture, you know, and like it being on the stage is cool. Well, like, you know, like it's not, because it's not a situation of like, oh, someone's trying to charm you or anything like this. It's literally just like a show of like Nigerian culture, you know. So like it's really cool to just see that represented on such a big world stage, and I think people really should like not deep it like that personally anyway.
I think like you know, because I've seen comments from people from Benin as well being like, you know, like why choose this kind of representation versus something that's more, you know, like beautiful or something more positive wise, because it's like, you know, that this will be perceived a certain way, so like why not take other elements from the area that could be, you know, perceived in a positive way.
Yeah, like I that's also a valid argument, because but like the thing is, it's what imagery stands out to him. Like he clearly has said like the bat is something like that reminds him of home. Like bats remind him of home. The Benin bronze statue, literal mask, that's there's nothing negative about that, right? Okay, maybe the masquerade, okay, you can argue that one, like okay, it's in something negative, and like why didn't you use something? Okay, that one I'll give you, but like the rest is literally was just stuff like
how about when he was up on the horse and they were all running around him and it sounded like complete like gibberish.
Yeah, but he was singing Pantera, like he was rapping Pantera, and then and like as I said, like everyone can take it and infer it however they want. I personally don't infer it like that. I don't think it's that deep, honestly. You know, like there's a lot to be said about that topic, about the whole like, oh, everyone like being super, like being like, oh my god, demon, like, you know, all that stuff, like blood Jesus, all that stuff, you know, which is pretty ironic, you know, from us, especially as Africans, when like Christianity is literally a like inherited colonized religion, and like, and don't get me wrong, so is Islam, like all those things, like actually more Christianity, that's a different story, but like the Christianity is a colonized religion, and like whatever trade religions, Islam, whatever you want to say, and then all those things, you know, those like people don't deep that, you know, and then you're saying all this stuff, and then you're diminishing all this, like there's so much there. Like as I said, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. They can do whatever they want. If you didn't like it, like I saw a TikTok of like people are like, oh, they saw that, they went away, go home.
Yeah,
honestly, like if you don't like, go home.
But
like,
also I feel like there was a lot of stuff and imagery that he posted on his personal Instagram leading up to that people were already talking about it, like before the concert. People were already giving Rema, like, you know, bad mouthing him about his imagery and stuff like that. So you knew what you were getting yourself into going at the concert, you know. Exactly.
And he also even addressed it, like, you know, he literally talked about the bat and the color, like, you know, like all these things. So like he literally addressed these things, and then you still chose to go, and then when you're there you still chose to stay. So like at what point does personal accountability come into play? If you really think that, stay home, or if you really think that and you're there, go home, you know. Like at the end of the day, it's your decision, so like stop complaining. That's my personal take. How about you? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't personally, I wasn't gonna deep it like that anyway. There are certain artists that I'm very like, oh, because of their music, but Rema doesn't have music that's very like, you know, demonic or whatever. I think the imagery and how he decides to portray himself, like, is through his music, is like whatever, that's up to him, that's his own style, you know. But I don't personally think that his music goes well hand in hand with the imagery he chooses anyway. I'm like, you do not need a skeleton on fire while you're singing, you know, about like bums or whatever, you know. It's just like whatever he chooses.
I do think I think he definitely does want to do a lot more of, like, because you can see in his original stuff, like he was doing a lot more like Lil Uzi Vert kind of stuff way back when he initially started, and then Afrobeats was something he started doing later on. But I think he's definitely of that new generation where they listen to rock and rap, and so they try to mesh it, and so they want to be rock stars. And I think his concert definitely gives very much rock star vibes. And obviously you can argue that his music is very different from rockstar vibes, but like I thought it was cool, you know, like the way he like made some of the versions, you know, like a little bit more rocky. It was pretty cool, you know, it's for me personally anyway. But I'm someone who enjoys both genres of music, so like, you know, like take for example when the NSG guys did OT Bob the rock version. I thought that was sick as hell, you know, and stuff like that. I never really, you know, like stuff like that, you know, like a lot of those guys grew up, you know, like seeing rock stars and seeing rap artists as well, hip hop stars, and be like, you want to like take Lil Uzi, any of those guys, they mesh the two genres together. That's so clear in their music, but obviously like Rema's music isn't meshed like that, but in the concert you could see that he just wanted to do it. Like even the fact that he played some of his original kind of like rappy stuff like Fame, like it really shows that he still enjoys that aspect of it, and he really wanted to just put that out there.
I think you can even see his music transitioning towards that. Like D&D is a lot more upbeat and punky versus like his Afrobeat style songs from before. And I understand that this is what he wants to rebrand himself into and maybe like do more of that. But he's kind of reminding me a little bit of Doja Cat, who had like so many listeners, so many followers, including myself. And then, she wanted to do more like rock, punk, whatever stuff. And people moved away from her. And that's okay. It's okay. Exactly. If an artist no longer provides you with the type of music that you want to listen to, it's okay to not listen to them anymore.
Exactly. No, like obviously you come for what you want. Like, and Doja Cat is a great example because you can see that she started off with the meme music and then she went with the stuff that's popular. But then you can see that she actually started doing more of the stuff that she wanted to do, which was, as Nicholas said, a lot more punky, and like you were like, this is weird.
We want old Doja, but like maybe that was never who truly Doja was.
Yeah, like and sometimes artists just want to do different things. Like they just want to like they're like, okay, I did this and I did it really well, but like this is something else I enjoy and let me give it a shot, like, and like it's artistry. Like people just want to do things for themselves. Like that's the whole idea. Like, there's a certain point at which you have to not care about what your fans think and do what you want to make happen, because at the end of the day, you're on that stage because you chose singing, because you enjoy it. So like you're not gonna just like, selling out would be continuing to do what everyone wants you to do. But if you do what you want to do, that's a whole different story.
But they would say it's selling out because they're selling their soul.
Well, yeah, you sold your soul. You stayed there. You sat there.
Get out of here,
Angela.
But yeah, no, overall, like I'm glad that I got to experience it, and I think he's a really, really good artist, and I think he can continue to make music. He'll still have a following no matter what.
Oh yeah, I think he'll have a very big following.
I think that he broke out into the West is gonna really help him with the punky type music, because I don't think that's as listened to in like, say, Nigeria or whatever. It's not as appreciated as his older music. But then look at him, like he made a song, Boobaloo, was it? That was huge in South America. So I think he's just kind of all over the map, really.
Yeah, exactly. He's just doing everything he wants to do, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think
he even had the Indian girls on stage representing.
Yeah, exactly, because he's massive in like over there. So like, it was pretty cool for him to do. Like, as you can see, he did things that made sense to him.
Yeah.
Like everything that he did made sense to him and the way he perceives himself and his imagery and all that stuff. Like, and that's why it's like, and once again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. You can think whatever you want, but like, how can you complain and still sit there? Like you still stay till the end for Calm Down.
He got your money.
Like even forget, like it's one thing if you had walked off. If you're walked off.
I've seen a TikTok of someone who did.
Yeah, no, and it's like, that's fine. Well, more power to you. But you just still stayed there the entire time going like, blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. I'll pull up to Calm Down. You're like, hey, calm down. I got it from my Instagram. Fuck you. Are you dumb? Like, you can't go home then and complain after you sat through all of it just to record Calm Down.
Yeah. I know you mentioned Ira Star was there and stuff, and for me, like, that was one of the highlights. Wondamo, all of them singing together was like a huge highlight. It was such a nice vibe, and I love seeing Ira Star. Her vocals are like amazing, and hearing her live is like, whoa, like this girl got voice, like she's
Grammy nominated artist.
Yeah, but what was she, like a church singer before? What are they called? No, she was, but I don't know. Yeah, she was, yeah. So it's like it made sense or whatever. So that was really fun. What I wanted to like kind of talk a little bit about again, I guess that because we were in London, so just kind of, we kind of did some things that were not touristy. A lot of people didn't really know like where we were. They were like, what, like what's going on? So we wanted to give you some, I guess, recommendations for some like free activities or not so common. So like, what would be one of yours?
Go to Hyde Park if it's sunny.
We didn't even go there.
I know, but that's the only free recommendation I can think of right now.
Okay.
Hyde Park is pretty good if it's sunny, and go for a nice walk and enjoy it. If it's cold, as long as it's not raining, to be honest, you can enjoy that park. It's freaking massive. So like that's always like something you can do, and it's free.
Yeah. Camden Market is always there to stay, and like we walked around, like, you know, we ended up getting a bite or something, but like you could just walk around and have a look around. There's a Hans and Gretel store,
Yeah, it's like some
like
chocolate
whatever
store
it
or
is.
whatever.
But it was so beautiful. Like it was so beautiful. I really liked it. It was like there was no one in there, so it was actually really nice to look at. There was the like cyborg, whatever techie shop with the two big robots in the front.
Oh yeah. One
That
of
was
them things.
cool. Very cool. So Camden Market is always there, you know, if you just want to stroll around. Then there's the Butterfly Trail that was at Tottenham Court
Yeah, Tottenham Core
Station.
Road Station or whatever. That is well, I think that's on right now until a certain time. But essentially, in that area, right outside the train station, there's this massive screen, and like they do different like art exhibitions there, like, you know, different stuff. Like there's a few things going on right there at the time. Right now, they go on for different times of the day, and you can just go there and like watch it. Yeah.
It was really pretty. Honestly, it was like a really pretty exhibition. No, the butterflies exhibition was super cute, very nice and cute. And then during like the evening, it kind of turned into something a little bit more trippy. Farooq and I just kind of stood there watching for a while. Like it was just like, what is going on? But it was different. I've never seen anything like it, so it's quite enjoyable.
Yeah, it was like it's called My Trip, literally, like by some artists or whatever, like, and it's just crazy, like with this like octopus, these guys, like whatever, it's pretty insane. But yeah, I know, like if you guys are around, I think it's on up until early next year, so like you have bare time to see it, and then like they obviously, and it's only on from, I'd like to say around 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock or something like that. It's on for like 4 hours or so anyway. Like, and it really repeats every time, you know, like it finishes or whatever. And it's on for long enough, but yeah, but it's on in the evenings anyway. And so definitely that's one of the ones that was pretty cool to see on the screen. Let me not lie.
Yeah, because it was just massive. Like, you know, you're like in an art gallery but outdoors, and it's free and all
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
And the other thing, obviously, because it's Christmas and whatever, there's so many Christmas markets there, like so many cute like stalls. You don't have to buy anything. You can just go and look because it's just such a nice atmosphere. Everyone's in a good mood, like, you know, just walking around. So I thought that was like something really nice you could do.
Yeah,
for free.
there's one in Leicester Square, and then there's one in Trafalgar Square as well. And those two, and then obviously it's not on right now, but starting on Friday, so tomorrow the 17th, is the Winter Wonderland that's happening in London as well. I think you have to book that or pay for that. I'm not too sure.
You do have to book it, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's on all the way till the 1st of January. So that's always another one. But yeah, there's a few Christmas markets around, but the main two would be Leicester and Trafalgar.
Yeah, and it's really cute. But what was the one that was like near the fountain?
That's Trafalgar.
Oh, that was that one.
Yeah.
Okay. That was like, it wasn't as big, but it was just like still really cute. And then the other thing is I have written down as like a free activities to walk around the malls, because the malls are very nicely decorated, like, you know, very Christmassy, Christmas trees everywhere. So you can take like cute photos like while you're in the malls, and you can window shop, you know. Once again, you don't have to buy anything. You just walk around, especially, you know, the Christmas areas, like where you can buy like Christmas stuff. I just thought that was so cute.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool.
It's like, I didn't care about any of that. Then to wrap up today's episode, I guess it's just like following up from the last episode on like looks and growing up and stuff like that. So I got a haircut while I was in London. You might see if you're looking. It's actually my first like curly cut that I've ever gotten. So after like frying my hair for years and then finally embracing it, and letting it grow and trying to like it, I finally got a curly cut, and I was like so startled when it was done, because I was used to my hair being so long, like it was like down to my bum basically. And then like when she was done, I was like, oh my god, it's so short. But like now I really like it. It's never been this like healthy and curly and like pretty. So shout out to the Curl Bar and Gabrielle who did my hair. Shout out to her. She was super nice, and she taught me a bunch of stuff and recommended a bunch of products, so that was like really nice. And yeah, that was really nice.
Were you happy with the service in the end?
Yeah, I was happy actually. It was where was the location? Maiden Lane, Middle Lane.
Yeah, it was some part. I can't remember if it was north. I think it was north. I'm not too sure. I think it was north anyway, but some part of England anyway. Just there's two versions, and only the Middle Lane one
Yeah.
is the one that she went to. So
Yeah. I think initially I was just like I said, I was so shocked and scared. But I'm someone who loves doing like hairstyles, and it was so hard to do with my long hair because I kept getting knotted. It was so like kind of dead. It had like no shape or structure, but now it's just like so bouncy and alive, and I feel like I can do so many half up, half down, like different hairstyles, so it's like a lot easier to manage. So overall, yeah, I think I was very happy with
that's very good. So now you guys know if you have curly hair and you want to do something, you know where to go.
Yeah, you know
and you're
where
in
to
London.
go.
You're in London anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit out of the way, but like I feel like it's one of those things that's worth it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So to finish off on a funny note, what was the worst haircut you've ever gotten in your life?
Probably my first. No, it's not. I've had a few bad haircuts. I mean, I'll lie. A few haircuts from people that push my hairline back, and every time it's always a terrible
You've gotten
feeling.
your hairline pushed.
So like, there's nothing you can do about that. You just gotta take the L and wait for your hair to grow back. But honestly, it's happened to me like a handful of times but now I'm with my man, so he's doing me well every time, and I'm happy with him all the time. So like, you just have to find a good barber and just stick to them forever until you move. And if you move, you have to find another good barber and just stick to them until you move, just forever. That's just how it works. Just, you guys know, if you know yourself. Yeah, I don't need to explain to you. It's a terrible feeling. It just ruins everything for you. So yeah, like, I think it's a lot easier. I mean, a lot easier for a guy to just get a shitty haircut. Like, if they push your hairline back, it's just a wrap from there.
You just wear a durag or like a beanie.
You just deal with it whatever way you want to deal with it, and you just wait. It's just a waiting game, honestly. It's at least 2 weeks of suffering. So
how important do you think like a haircut is for a man?
I think a haircut is like important depending on like what hair you have, to be honest. Like, I know guys who have like hair that they never need haircuts and they look good, and then I know guys who like myself, like if I don't have a haircut, I just look like a bum, like I just look like a real bum. So like, like I look like a caveman or whatever. So like, I'm on the side that needs a haircut, whereas I know guys who generally just don't get haircuts for months and they're just looking good all the time. So like, lucky you. How about you? What's the worst haircut you ever had?
I think it wasn't like a haircut. It was more like a style that my mom tried to do. So like, I don't know if you remember, but like a lot of the girls had like side fringes, and that was like a whole thing of like having a side fringe. And I really wanted one like so bad. And my mom was like, I can do it at home. And I was like, okay. And then she got like a tiny piece of hair, maybe a little bit bigger than like my front pieces, and just like cut it. She just like chopped it straight, like kind of diagonally, because it's meant to be like a side fringe, but it was just like a strand of, it was just a strand of hair.
Nah, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. And you just cut it off.
I cried.
Yeah,
I couldn't cut it off because then I'd be left with no hair here, and it would have to grow eventually. Do you get me?
Okay.
To blend in with the rest of my hair.
You just have to front it.
I had to pin it back.
Yeah.
Like, just
pin it backwards so people don't see it.
With
so
a
then
clip.
that little puffy.
No, it was just like blend it. Yeah.
Okay,
blend it in, but it was just the longest of my life. It was so awful. I hated it, and I cried so much because like one of the pieces were like up to here and the other were like down here, and it just didn't work. So moral of the story is go to a professional. Obviously that would be the ideal situation, but personally, like, I always had like really curly hair, and this was before I was allowed to straighten it, so you can imagine how that looked on me. Like, that would have never been a style for me. Like, a side fringe was like straight hair, like cool, whatever. It was never for me.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It was just poofy.
Just poof.
Really annoying. But share with us your horror hairstyle stories.
Let us know. Tell us what was good, what was bad of your And then like, subscribe, comment.
Let us know.
Only positive comments.
And we'll take whatever. Engagement is engagement. We'll take whatever.
I'm only joking. I don't give a shit what
If you want a negative comment about Rema, that's okay. You can put your opinion out there.
Yeah, argue with me in the comments.
Exactly.
In reality, you're arguing yourself. I don't read the comments. So.
I'll read them, guys. I'll respond. Till next time.
Bye.